We'll start our class immediately. So let us join the class. Today we will be discussing about angle properties of a circle. Hello. Tuambie kila mtu aingie. Tuingie. Tuingie. Yesu itu. Tuingie. Watu wote waitwe. Good morning, good evening. How are you? Angle properties of a circle. Angle properties of a circle. Tuingieni. Wale watu wako wapi? Where are you guy? Hello. Tuingie. Angle properties of a circle. That is what we will be working out on now. Angle properties of a circle. Ambia wengine wote waingie. Kindly. Waambie wote waingie. this portion for the ratio. Buy this portion for the dry this portion too. Buy this portion for the right saika ya ndova ya daisa ya kazado makarazia ya kazazi. Hello. Tuambie kila mtu aingie. Surely tutaanza na mtu mmoja. Please tuingie. Hey. It is not happening. Hey. Niki kirathi na mbere guku. Hey. Guy. Fatuma. Venye mumeingia nyote, kwani mumepotelea wapi? Siwaoni, naona live iko tu na mtu mmoja na anatoka inabaki zero.
Wako wanasema
Unajua upande wangu huwa inanionyesha wale wanafunzi wako class. Sasa hii inasema zero student.
wanasema
Wote wanaona? Fatuma ulikuwa umeingia? Zuleka ulikuwa umeingia? Zaka, Aslub.
mimi nilikuwa.
Na mimi inanionyesha hakuna watu by the way. You know I always see those people from my end. 10 watching, 7 watching, 6 watching. Sasa hii nasema zero. That is a... Ati?
I'm watching ni mimi. Hata mimi nilikuwa. One watching, mimi nilikuwa ndani.
Sasa hii nasema kuna mmoja tu. Anyway. Okay, wacha niangalie juu kwa simu, kwa kamera inaonyeshana ni mmoja. Basi tufanye hivi, nikiquit hii call tuingie sote, mimi niamini mko. Sawa sawa? Yes, tuingie sote, niamini nyote mko hata kama itasema zero. Sawa sawa?
Sawa.
Haya. Haya. Ango Properties of Asako. Good evening everyone. Today we are going to be learning about Ango Properties of Asako. So, talking about Ango Properties of Asako, we are going to learn about different situations and different ways in which we approach Ango Properties of Asako. So, let us continue. So the first thing I want us to start with, we will start with the properties themselves, and we are going to start number 1 with angles subtended by the same chord stroke arc are equal. Angles subtended by the same chord stroke arc are equal. What does that mean? That means that if we have a circle, and in our circle here we have chord AB. Talking of chord AB or arc AB, it is one but the same thing. But let us be specific and say chord, because even this one can also be an arc. So let us just remove this word arc. Of the same chord are equal. Let us just be with the chord. Reason being, even this one can be an arc apart from this one being an arc. So angles subtended by the same chord are equal. What does that mean? If we have an angle here, this angle has been suspended, or it has been subtended by chord AB. You can see the chord AB is the one that is making this angle. When we talk of subtending, we mean the two lines where the angle converges are diverging towards the chord. Then we have the same here. This angle here also is going to be A. It is going to be A. Why? Because the two angles have been suspended by the same chord. The two angles have been suspended by the same chord. So, for example, if we have a circle whose chord is subtending, chord PQ is suspending two angles at the circumference, and this angle is 50 degrees, this angle here also is going to be 50 degrees. That angle also is going to be 50 degrees. If this angle is 50 degrees, this will also be 50 degrees. Why? Because the two angles have been subtended by the same chord. So that is the first angle property that we have discussed. I want us to discuss about the second property so that we can understand. So property number 2 says an angle subtended at the center of the circle, is twice the angle at the circumference of the circle. Is twice the angle at the circumference, okay, of a circle, of the circle. So what does this mean? An angle subtended at the center of the circle. So we have our circle here. So if we have an angle subtended at the center of the circle, let us say the center of the circle is O. Normally we use O. So if we have an angle subtended at the center of the circle, maybe this is our angle. An angle subtended at the center of the circle by a chord is twice the angle at the circumference of the circle by the same chord. So we may have here point AB. Point AB so at the center of the circle, an angle subtended at the center of the circle is twice the angle subtended at the circumference of the circle by the same chord. by the same chord. So this is chord AB. We have chord AB here. So if this angle is subtended in this way, and this angle is A, this angle here is going to be 2A. But both of them must be subtended by the same chord. The two angles must be subtended by the same chord. One at the center of the circle and another one at the circumference of the circle. So if we have such as a real example, we have center O and it is 120 degrees. This one here is going to be 60 degrees. So this can be ABC, A, B, C. So this one is O. So this is 120 degrees and this one is 60 degrees. So that is what it means. An angle subtended at the center of the circle by a chord is twice the angle subtended at the circumference of the circle by the same chord. This is what it means. We can have another diagram that illustrates the same. We can have another diagram that illustrates the same. So in this scenario, we are going to have a circle here at the center. So it means that this angle here is twice. If this is 2A, this one is going to be A. So if this one is 2A, this one is A, this one is 2A. You can see that? Yes. So this is A, this one is 2A. This can also be another representation to show an angle subtended by a chord or an arc at the center of the circle is twice the angle on the circumference of the circle. So that is how we generally go about that. So we are first going to go through these laws, then we can get some few examples that can help us respond to some few questions that have been assessed in the KCSE made familiar. Rule number 3, angles on alternate segments. Angles on alternate segments. Angles on alternate segments are equal. Angles on alternate segments are equal. Angles on alternate segments are equal. So this means that if we have a circle and we have a segment here, we have a chord here that is creating a segment. Maybe we have a line here. This straight line we are drawing that is touching one point of the circumference is called a tangent. This line is a tangent. So we have this one, and then we have an angle here. This angle here, you can see here, this angle, if this angle is A, so this is a segment, this is a minor segment, and this segment is alternating to the major segment. So this angle here being A, also this angle here will be equal to A. And the reason this angle is going to be equal to this is because both of them lie on alternate segments. You can see we have this segment here is alternating with this one with this one, so that is why this angle is A. And that is why we have said that alternate angles on alternate segments are equal. So if we have an example using real angles like that, we have a tangent and we have a chord, then this angle being 50 degrees will be equal to another angle here subtended by this alternate segment. This one also will be equal to 50 degrees. It will be equal to 50 degrees. Haya. Tuendelee kuzama. Hiyo ni ya tatu. So the first row we said angles subtended by the same chord are equal. Number 2 we said an angle subtended at the center of the circle by a chord is twice the angle on the circumference of the circle subtended by the same chord. Number 3 we have said that all angles on alternate segments are equal. The next one I want us to discuss about cyclic quadrilaterals. Cyclic quadrilaterals. Cyclic quadrilaterals. Cyclic quadrilaterals. Cyclic quadrilaterals. Cyclic quadrilateral. So, number 4, I want us to talk about cyclic quadrilaterals. What do we have to know about cyclic quadrilaterals? What we have to know about cyclic quadrilaterals, or what is a cyclic quadrilateral? Let me show you. A cyclic, let us first state the rule. So, opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary. So when we say that these angles are supplementary, we mean that the angles add up. They add up to 180 degrees. They add up to 180 degrees. That is what it means. So if we have a circle, a cyclic quadrilateral is a quadrilateral in which all the 4 vertices are touching the circumference of a circle. It is like this one. So this one is what we call a cyclic quadrilateral. It is not just a quadrilateral. A cyclic quadrilateral is a quadrilateral whereby all the 4 vertices, remember a quadrilateral is a 4-sided polygon. So all the vertices of the quadrilateral are touching the circumference. So in this one, we have said opposite angles. Opposite angles, it means if this angle here is A and this angle here is B, it means that A plus B is equal to 180. And if this angle is C and this one is D, that is going to be, and C plus D is also going to be equal to 180. So if you add 180 and 180, it means it is going to give you 360. And remember that the sum of all the interior angles of a quadrilateral adds up to 360. So generally, this is the property that we use. So if this one is equal to 100 degrees, or this one is equal to 60 degrees, it means that this one will be 180 minus 60, so this one is going to be 120. That is what it simply means. Cyclic quadrilaterals, their opposite angles are supplementary. 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 Another thing that we really need to understand is that angles on a straight line adds up to 180 degrees. Why so? For instance, if we have a circle and this circle has a tangent, and we can name our tangent as AB, and this angle has a segment there, and we have an angle here. If this angle here is A, this angle here is going to be 180 degrees minus A. Why? Because these two angles lie on a straight line. So if this one is A, this one will be 180 minus A. That is what we mean by angles on a straight line adds up to 180 degrees. Angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So the next thing that we need to learn about is, given a circle, for example, when you have been given a circle and the center has been mentioned, maybe center O. I want you to understand that when you have a circle whose center is mentioned, you have center O, you need to know that all these are equal. These are radiuses, because a radius or a radii are distances from the center of the circle to the circumference of the circle. So if you have such, and maybe you have been told that at the center here the angle is equivalent to 80 degrees, and you have been told to determine this angle, you need to determine this angle. You are told to find or determine angle OAB. Angle OAB. You need to understand that for you to determine angle OAB, if this is an isosceles triangle, it means that two base angles are equal. These two angles here are equal. And remember, a triangle, this being a triangle, the interior angles of a triangle, add up to 180 degrees. So what does that mean? For us to get these two, or one of them, it is going to be A plus 80 is equal to 180. So A plus A is equal to 2A is equals to 180 minus 80 minus 80. So 2A is equal to 180 minus 80 is 100. So if we divide by 2, we are going to get A is equivalent to 50 degrees. So our A is going to be equal to 50 degrees. 50 degrees. So if we have this and maybe this one projects to there and there, and you are told to find this one, which property are we going to use? We are going to use property number 2. An angle subtended at the center of the circle by a chord is twice the angle subtended on the circumference of the circle by the same chord. So if this one is 80, this one here is going to be 80 divided by 2, which is going to be 40. So for us to respond to these questions, we need to understand these properties. And by doing that, we can now proceed to doing some questions that have been assessed in the KCSE, so that we can familiarize in one way or another with how questions are assessed in the national examination. Angle properties of a circle. Angle properties of a circle. Angle properties of a circle. So angle properties of a circle. So let us have some examples. Let us have some few examples. Haya. Nitaanza na zile fupi fupi as we now gravitate towards the comprehensive ones. In the figure below, O is the center of the circle. Kalish. Kalish. Funguo nilipoteza. I lost my keys. I think I misplaced them. A, B, C, and D are points on the circumference of the circle. Line AB is parallel to DC and angle ADC is equal to 55 degrees. So we have our question here. It is passing through the center. We have that one, and we have a line here. So the question is asking determine the size of angle ACB. 3 marks. This question, if you are interested in which year it was asked, it was 2015, paper 2, number 4. 2015, paper 2, number 4. Jesus. Watu wameenda wapi? Cheni kupotea bwana. So, in the figure below, O is the center of the circle, A, B, C, and D. So, A, B, C, and D. The circumference of the circle. A, B, C, and D are points of the circle. Line AB, you can see, is parallel to line DC, correct? And angle ADC is 55 degrees. So the next question that we have here is determine the size of angle ACB. We are supposed to determine the size of angle ACB. So this is what we are supposed to determine. We can call it X. That is the angle we are supposed to determine. So before you respond to this question, you need to check clearly about the angles that you have been provided with. We have 55 degrees. Another thing, A, B, C, and D is a cyclic quadrilateral. So something we have here is we have a cyclic quadrilateral. Don't undermine that. We have a cyclic quadrilateral. And we said about cyclic quadrilateral, what we said is that opposite angles are supplementary. Opposite angles are supplementary. Opposite angles are supplementary. Supplementary means they both add up to 180 degrees. So if this angle is 55, we can be able to determine the size of this angle. So angle ABC is going to be 180 degrees minus 55 degrees. So what is 180 minus 55? It is 125 degrees. It is 125 degrees. So this angle here is 125 degrees. degrees. So that is one thing that we need to know. This angle here is 125 degrees. So check this one out. Hello. So we already have this one 125 and we have this one 55 degrees, but we are supposed to determine this. Don't forget that this one we are seeing here, this angle, there is another property that we did not write. Allow me to write it down. I have seen another property. We are in property number 6. Wacha tuiandike. An angle subtended by the diameter is a right angle. Is a right angle. What does that mean? That angle is 90 degrees. That angle is 90 degrees. So what does that mean? It means if we have an angle that has been subtended by the diameter, this one is the diameter. Why are we saying is the diameter? Because it is passing through the center. Ikipita through the center, it means this is the diameter. Inapita katikati. So provided main chord. Remember we said the main chord is the diameter. Kwa hivyo hii angle hapa ni 90. Kwa nini? Jiko subtended na diameter. So this angle here is 90. This angle here we see is 90 degrees. So if this angle is 90 degrees, that means that we can be able to find this angle. We can be able to find this angle. And if we can be able to find this angle, it means that we are going to use the area of a triangle. The area of a triangle. Where we are going to say the interior angles of a triangle add up to 180. So if we call this one maybe A, it is going to be 90 degrees plus 55 degrees plus A is equals to 180. So 90 plus 55 will be equal to 145 degrees plus A is equal to 180. So A is equals to 180 degrees minus 145 degrees, and our A will be equal to 180 minus 145 is equal to 35 degrees. 35 degrees. So this small angle here is equal to 35 degrees. 35 degrees. Higher. After we do that, these are parallel lines. These are parallel lines. This one is a parallel line and this one is a parallel line. And in parallel lines, there is what we call alternating angles. Alternating angles. What does that mean? When we talk of alternating angles, in parallel lines, we are talking about the Z angles. The Z angles. So if we have two parallel lines here, we have another parallel line here, and in those two parallel lines, we have a line that cuts across like a diagonal. So these two are parallel lines. This one is AB and this one is DC. These two angles are alternating. This angle here is alternating with this angle here. So if this angle is 35 degrees, this angle here also is 35 degrees. So that means if we can now complete it whole to form a trapezium, if that is so, ikuwe hivyo, na hiyo already tushapata ni 35, ndiyo hii. Tuseme B hata iko hapa, na hiyo already tulikuwa nao ni 125. We can be able to get this one because this one was A. We can be able to get this one ambao tuliita X, and this one is also another triangle, and interior angles of a triangle add up to 180. So 35 degrees plus 125 degrees plus X is equal to 180 degrees. So 35 plus 125 is 160 degrees plus X is equals to 180. If we take 160 on the other side, we will remain with X is equals to 20 degrees. X is equal to 20 degrees. X is equal to 20 degrees. Haya, tuendelee. So ACB, angle ACB is equivalent to 20 degrees. Na tumemaliza hiyo. Angle ACB is equivalent to 20 degrees. 20 degrees. Let us do another one. Let us do another one here. Haya. (2016) paper 2 number 18. In the figure below, O is the center. Of the circle. No. Sorry, big mistake. In the figure below, P, Q, R, and S are points on the circle center O. On the circle center O, PRT and USTV are straight lines line UV is a tangent to the circle at S. Angle RST is equal to 50 degrees. And angle RTV is equal to 150 degrees. Hapo umemaliza kuandika. Nataka kufuta ili nichore hiyo diagram. Maliza kuandika haraka. Hello, hi. Haya. Kama tumemaliza kuandika, wacha tufute ili tuchore diagram. So the diagram is like this. This is a straight line. US T and V. It has a center O. It has a center O. Haya. P. Hapo juu ni P. Q iko wapi? Hiyo ni Q. Na hiyo ni R. I think that is all that we have. And this angle here is 50 degrees. That angle there is 50 degrees. So the first question is A. Calculate the size of Roman 1 angle ORS, angle ORS, angle ORS, 2 marks. ORS, where is ORS? ORS, this here, can call it X. Angle ORS ndio tumeulizwa tuitafute. Haya, so if it is your first time to be in our YouTube channel, tafadhali hakikisha umesubscribe. Ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are still growing. We are still growing. Ensure you subscribe and share this video with another student. Share it with another, share the channel link to another student so that they can also subscribe and be learning each and every day. Yes, back on what we are supposed to be doing. Hebu angalia hapa. Tumeulizwa tutafute hii angle ORS. Hii angle iko hapa. Kwa hivyo tukuje tuangalie hiyo rate tumepewa ni 50. Hii ni 150. Then remember we said angles on a straight line. Angles on a straight line add up to 180. Najirudia hivi, sijirudii juu sijui ni nini nafanya. Najirudia ili uelewe. So kama hii ni 150, hii itakuwa nini? Itakuwa 30. 30 kwa nini? 150 plus maybe A is equal to 180. If you take this to the other side, it will be A equals to 180 degrees minus 150 degrees, which will give us 30 degrees. So najirudia ili uelewe ni properties tuna deal nazo. So hii itakuwa 30. So hiyo angle ikiwa 30, sasa hapa we have a triangle here. If you check clearly, you can see very well that we have a triangle here. And in this triangle we are having, we said that interior angles of a triangle add up to 180. What does that mean? It means 55 plus 30 plus maybe B, 55 degrees plus 30 degrees plus B is equals to 180 degrees. Kwa hivyo our B will be equal to 180 degrees minus 55 plus 30 . It will be 85. (180 minus 85), we will get 95 degrees. So this here is 95 degrees. Lakini hatujaulizwa hii, tumeulizwa hii ingine. Tumeulizwa hii ingine. So hii ingine itakuwa nini? It is an angle on a straight line. And an angle on a straight line adds up to 180 degrees. It adds up to 180 degrees. So itakuwa 180 degrees minus 95 degrees. What is 180 minus 95? It will be 85 degrees. Therefore, angle ORS is equals to 85 degrees. Angle ORS ni 85 degrees. So tunaweza kuja tufute hapa. Tuandike hii angle ni 85. Haya. Tuende the next question. Roman 2. Roman 2, angle USP. And how many marks? 1 mark. Where is USP? USP. Hii angle hapa. This one here. Maybe tunaweza ita Y. USP itakuwa nini? Haya. Ngojeni niweke kalamu petroli. Let me fuel the pen first. Alafu tuendelee. Na kama huja subscribe hakikisha umesubscribe. Mary Wanjiro Mbolo. How are you? Mary, uko aje? Anisa, Habiba. So, acha tujaze kalamu na wino. It's very, very important. Haya, so tuendelee. USP. So USP ni hii hapa. Kabla tufanye anything lazima tuna reason. Usiende huku umekimbilia. So tuangalie hii nini inaweza tusaidia. Ukiona mahali kuna red 0 o center, unajua hii ni radius. So hizi zinatoshana na hii. Na kama hizi zinatoshana, this is what we call an isosceles triangle. When we talk of an isosceles triangle, we mean hii kama hii ni 85, two base angles are equal. Hata hii ni 85. Umeelewa kwa nini? Because in an isosceles triangle, two base angles are equal. Two base angles are equal. So hiyo ndo property tumejua, hii ni 85. Kama hii ni 85, hii ni 85. Na mbona tunasema ni isosceles triangle? Ni juu radius hapa zinatoshana. So inatupatia isosceles triangle. So tukijua hivyo, tushajua hii ni 85. So kuna kaango kengine hapa hatujui. Kuna kaango kako hapo hatujui. Mnakaona? Yes, haka hatujui haka. So kwanza tukuje hapa. Hii ni 50. Kumbukeni tulisema angles on alternate segment are equal. Angles on alternate segments are equal. When we say that angles on alternate segments are equal, ni kumaanisha kama hii ni 50, hata hii itakuwa 50. Mnakumbuka? Kumbukeni vizuri. Kama hii ni 50, hii itakuwa 50. So kama hii ni 50, hii ni 50. I hope sasa umeona vizuri. Si unaona vizuri? Yes. Hii ni 50. So alafu kama hii ni 50, hapa katikati hii iko hapa itakuwa nini? 50 times 2 mara 2 itakuwa 100. I hope unaona vizuri. I hope unakaelewa vizuri. Na kama unakaelewa vizuri, hii ikiwa 100, hii ni reflex. Hiyo kwanza tuiondoe, hii ni reflex. Tunaweza tafuta hiyo angle ni nini? Hiyo angle itakuwa 360, because hii yote ni kasako, so inafaa iwe 360 minus 100 itakuwa 260. So hii angle yote hapa ni 260 degrees. Hii yote hapa ni 260 degrees. Kwa hivyo tukitaka kupata haka, na ukiangalia vizuri, hello, angalia hapa, hii ilikuwa straight, pale kuna line 3. Yes, hii ilikuwa straight. Ngoja, tumeenda njia kubwa sana. We've gone a long way. 1 mark, hatufai kufanya hiyo kazi yote for 1 mark. Let us find another shorter route. We can find another shorter route. We don't have to go all that way. This angle here, kabla tupate hii yote ni right angle. Hii ni 90. Angle USO. Angle USO is 90 degrees. Wacha nielezee kwa nini. Because it is subtended by a tangent and a radius. A tangent and a radius. A tangent and a radius and the radius. A tangent and the radius. ORS. ORS was 85. Hii ilikuwa 85. Hii pia iko inafaa iwe 85, iko sawa. So hii angle yote ni 90 degrees. Sitaki tuende hiyo njia yote. So this one is 90. What is 90 plus 85 plus 50? No, that is long. Kuna mahali tulikosea. Fifty, 100, 50 plus 30, 80. Yeah. We made a mistake here. This was not supposed to be 95. $50 plus 30 was 80. Then 180 minus 80 was supposed to be 100 degrees. It was supposed to be 100 degrees. So that here, a straight line will be equal to 80 degrees. So with 80, we have an 80 here. We have an 80 there. And with an with an 80, hiyo iwezi kuwa hivyo na hiyo iwezi kuwa 100 kiasi. Nimeona mahali tumefanya makosa. If this one is an 80 and an 80 and this one is an isosceles triangle, this means 80 plus 80. It's not adding up. 50 plus 30, 80. 1. Nimeona makosa yangu nimeyaona. Poleni sana. Straight line C hii. This is the mistake I made. Straight line ni hii yote. Hii yote ndo inafaa iwe straight line. That's why it's really confusing. Straight line ni hii yote. Ni tumefanya tumeenda vizuri. Hii ndio yote straight line. Tuseme iko tu hivyo. Poleni sana. It's a mistake, just a slight mistake. So, tufute hii. So hii peke yake ndo ingekuwa 100. So 80 ni hii yote. 80 ilikuwa inafaa iwe hii yote. 80 ilikuwa inafaa iwe hiyo yote. Haina shida. Turudi pale mwanzo. ORS Roman 1 ORS 2 marks. So hii yote ndiyo 80. Juu hii ni 110. Yote ndiyo 80. So hii ni 50. Tukikuja hapa itakuwa 50. Tukikuja hapa itakuwa 100. Hiyo haitabadilika, iko sawa. So ikiwa hivyo kama hii ni 100, hii yote ni 260, but tunataka angle ORS haka peke yake. So kama hii ni 100, ni kumaanisha hizi mbili ni 80 juu zinatoshana, eighths and eighths. So ni kumaanisha eighths plus eighths should be equal to 80. Kwa hivyo 2 eighths is equal to 80 na eighths inafaa iwe 40 degrees. Kwa hivyo waka kaango waka ni 40. So ORS inafaa iwe 40 degrees. ORS is 40. So ORS is 40 and this one also here is 40. Then remember we have said an angle. So tunaweza futa hapa. Hiyo tumekosoa, inafaa iwe 40. The answer is 40. I'm very sorry for that. Makosa huwa yanatokea, lakini katika kila hali tunakubali na tunakosoa. Thank you Amita. I've seen that mistake. So the second one inasema USP. Angle USP 1 mark. USP. So tukuje hapa. USP hii peke yake hapa. Tukasema hii yote ni 90. Hii yote ni 90. So hii ni 50, hii ni 260. Haya, ni gani hatuna? Kama hii ni 40 hapa na yote ilikuwa 80, kumbuka yote ilikuwa 80, ni kumaanisha haka kadogo hapa ni 40 pia. Na kama ni 40 yako, tukiweza tenganisha hii ikiwa hivi, itaform quadrilateral, a four-sided figure 1 2 3 4. So hii ni 50, hii ni 260 na hii ni 40. Hii tunaweza pata tuite t. So tutasema t plus 50 plus 260 plus 40 is equals to 180. So itakuwa ni not 180, 360. It is a quadrilateral. It is a four-sided figure. So itakuwa is equal to 360. So 50 plus 260 plus 40 itakuwa 350. So t plus 350 is equals to 360. Tukipeleka huu iko itakuwa t is equals to 360 minus 350, which will be equal to 10 degrees. Therefore, angle USP is equal to 10 degrees. USP is equal to 10 degrees. Wewe turudi class. Watu warudi. Unaenda wapi? Mwalimu akikosea mnafaa mnaenda. Si mnakosoa mwalimu. So hii angle ni 10. Hatujamaliza USP. USP si 10. Aka ndiko 10. Tukipata hako ni 10, remember tumesema sasa hii yote ni 90. Kwa hivyo USP itakuwa 90 degrees minus 10 degrees. USP ikuwe ni 80 degrees. 80 degrees. 80 degrees. 80 degrees. Hiyo ingine ni PQR. PQR 2 marks. PQR. Haya. So hapa tutatumia cyclic quadrilateral because this one, the whole of this is a cyclic quadrilateral. This one, this one, this one and this one. Kwa hivyo kama hii yote tuko nayo ni 40 plus 10 ni 50, angle PSR is equals to 50 degrees. And this angle is opposite with this. So it means this one being K, angle PQR, if we say it is K degrees, it is going to be K plus 50 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. So K will be equal to 180 degrees minus 50 degrees, and K is going to be 130 degrees. Kwa hivyo K yetu itakuwa 130. Kwa hivyo angle PQR is 130 degrees. Tunapata hizo mbili. So tuende kujibu maswali part B. Part B inasema given that RT equals 7 centimeters, RT is 7 centimeters, ST is 9 centimeters, ST is 9 centimeters. Calculate to these significant figures the length of the line PR. The length of the line PR. So hii inakaa hivi. Iko hivi. Iko hivi. So tumeambiwa ST ni 9 cm. Then tunaambiwa kuna hii iko hivi. Hapa kuna R na kuna P. RT tunaambiwa ni 7. So tunaambiwa hii, tutafute hii H. So hapa tutatumia formula ya chords that intersect externally. Na tulisema PT times RT is equals to ST squared. Is equals to ST squared. Is equal to ST squared. PT ni H plus 7 multiplied by RT ni 7 is equal to ST squared. 9 squared is 81. 9 squared is 81. So 7 times 8 is 7h plus 49 is equal to 81. Tukipeleka hii huko tutapata 7h is equals to 81 minus 49 itakuwa 32. So 32 divided by 7 tutapata h is equals to 4.57. 4.57. Kwa hivyo our PR is equals to 4.57 centimeters. Ya mwisho, the radius of the circle. Ya mwisho ni radius of the circle. The radius. The radius of the circle. The radius of the circle. So, the radius of the circle ni kama hapa sasa R. So hapo unaweza chagua yoyote. Kwa tunatumia mostly the sign rule. The sign rule where we say A over sin A is equals to B over sin B is equal to C over sin C is equal to 2R. Is equal to 2R. So what that means is that in this particular scenario we can choose any. So hapa hatuna A over sin A, tuko na P over sin P, Q over sin Q, R. Hiyo ndio tutatumia. So tunaweza jaribu kupunguza noise yenye iko kwa diagram yetu ili tuone vizuri. So kuna hii length tumepata ya PR ambayo tumepata ni 4.57. Hii tumepata ni 4.57 cm. So hii inaweza tusaidia hii side na hii angle. Hii angle hapa ni 50. Hii angle hapa ni 50. Kwa hivyo tunaweza sema hii ni S na hii ni small s. So we can say small s over sin s is equals to 2R. That one is enough. Kama hizi zote ni kumaanisha either can give you two radius or either of them can give you the diameter. Kwa hivyo our s is 4.57 over sin 50 is equals to 2 radius. Is equals to 2 radius. So we will cross multiply. We will cross multiply. Tukuwe na 2 radius times sin 50 degrees is equals to 4.57. So tunataka kubaki na radius. So you can divide both sides by 2 sin 50 by 2 sin 50. So this one will cancel with that, 2 will cancel with 2, and then we will be left with R is equals to, you can find first 2 sin 50, 2 times sin 50, then 4.57 divide by answer, you will get your radius as 2.98 centimeters. 2.98 centimeters. 2.98 centimeters. So generally, that is how we go about this. That is how we go about these questions. So I think we can stop at that point. Tomorrow we are still going to continue with this angle properties of a circle, and tutafanya zaidi, then you will be good to go. Have a blessed evening, and let us communicate now in the world.